Well, he's not going to pitch in the WBC, but he will be ramping up his arm to get ready for this season. And I think for me is, I don't know how many innings he threw last year, but obviously with a full off season going north of what he did last year.
How did you take that news that he wouldn't be pitching?
I wasn't surprised. So I can't even say I was relieved. I think that he wants to, understanding what he did last year, what he had to go through, to then how best to prepare himself for 26 to do both. It just seemed like the right decision. So I wasn't surprised and feel really good about it.
His call?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was absolutely his call.
Here's a rewritten voiceover-ready script that keeps the same core story, pacing, curiosity, and audience retention style while using fresh wording and structure. It's designed for roughly 9 minutes of narration, about 1,250 words. One swing can change a game. That's exactly why, in one of the biggest moments of the night, the Arizona Diamondbacks decided they didn't want Shohei Ohtani swinging at all. With the game hanging in the balance and a runner standing just 90 feet away from scoring, the Diamondbacks faced a decision every team eventually has to make. Challenge the most dangerous hitter in baseball, or put him on base and hope someone else beats you. They chose the second option. In the 7th inning of a tense matchup between the Dodgers and Diamondbacks, Ohtani stepped toward the batter's box with 1 out and a runner on third. Fans expected a dramatic showdown. Instead, Arizona raised 4 fingers and intentionally walked him. The crowd immediately understood what had just happened. This wasn't simply a strategic move. It was a statement. The Diamondbacks were effectively saying that allowing Ohtani to hit was a bigger risk than putting another runner on base during a 1-run game. Think about that for a second. At the highest level of professional baseball, where every decision is analyzed and every percentage point matters, a team looked at the situation and decided that facing Shohei Ohtani was the worst possible outcome. That level of respect isn't given freely. What's remarkable is that this wasn't something happening every night earlier in the season. In fact, it had been 26 games since Ohtani last received an intentional walk. For a player widely considered one of the greatest talents baseball has ever seen, that's a surprisingly long stretch. But the reason is simple. Earlier in the year, Ohtani wasn't producing at the level fans had become accustomed to seeing. By his standards, the start was slow. Pitchers were still careful around him, but opposing teams weren't necessarily treating him like the unstoppable force he can become when everything clicks. Now that's changing. Over the last several weeks, Ohtani has looked more and more like the version that keeps managers awake at night. The timing couldn't be better for Los Angeles. As Ohtani's bat has heated up, the Dodgers have started looking like the powerhouse many expected them to be from the beginning. It's not just about home runs. It's not just about batting average. It's about the feeling he creates every time he steps into the box. Pitchers know it. Managers know it. Fans definitely know it. The game changes when Shohei Ohtani is at the plate. Every pitch suddenly feels important. Every mistake feels dangerous. Every at-bat carries the possibility that something unforgettable is about to happen. That's why the intentional walk in Arizona stood out so much. The Diamondbacks weren't reacting to a single at-bat. They were reacting to a trend. They were reacting to a player who is rapidly becoming impossible to contain again. And that's a scary thought for the rest of Major League Baseball. Because when Ohtani reaches his peak form, there aren't many weaknesses to attack. You can't simply overpower him with velocity. You can't rely on breaking balls alone. You can't consistently exploit a hole in his swing because there usually isn't one for very long. He adjusts. He learns. He evolves. That's what separates great players from truly historic ones. The best athletes make adjustments. The legends force everyone else to adjust to them. Ohtani belongs in that second category. And right now, opponents appear to be reaching the conclusion that challenging him directly might not be worth the risk. The 7th inning provided the perfect example. Imagine being the opposing manager. A runner is on third. The game is close. The crowd is loud. And walking a hitter intentionally means creating another base runner in a critical situation. Normally, that's something teams try to avoid. Yet, Arizona looked at all the available options and decided that facing Ohtani was still the more dangerous choice. That's the kind of respect usually reserved for players having MVP-caliber seasons. It's the type of treatment superstars receive when they're locked in and seeing the ball better than everyone else. And judging by recent performances, Ohtani is entering exactly that territory. The numbers are impressive, but the eye test may be even more convincing. His swings look confident. His timing looks sharp. His approach at the plate looks disciplined. When those elements come together, pitchers have very little margin for error. A fastball over the middle can disappear in a hurry. A hanging breaking ball can end up in the seats. Even quality pitches can become highlights. That's what makes him such a unique challenge. Most hitters have clear areas pitchers can target. Ohtani often forces pitchers into uncomfortable decisions because there simply isn't an obvious answer. Throw strikes and risk damage. Nibble around the edges and risk falling behind in the count. Or, in some situations, don't pitch to him at all. The Diamondbacks chose that final option. And while fans may have wanted to see the matchup unfold, naturally, the decision itself told an important story. Baseball's most feared version of Shohei Ohtani appears to be back. The Dodgers are certainly benefiting from it. Whenever superstar players get hot, their teams tend to follow. Confidence spreads throughout a clubhouse. Pressure shifts toward opponents. Games start feeling different. For Los Angeles, Ohtani's surge has coincided with an impressive run of success. That's not a coincidence. Great players elevate everyone around them. Even when they don't record a hit, their presence changes how opponents manage games. The intentional walk demonstrated exactly that. Ohtani didn't swing the bat. He didn't hit a home run. He didn't drive in a run. Yet he still influenced the game in a major way simply because Arizona refused to take the chance. That's impact, and it's the kind of impact statistics don't always capture. The fear factor matters. The reputation matters. The threat matters. When teams start changing their strategies specifically because of one player, you know that player is operating at a different level. For years, Ohtani has built a reputation unlike anything baseball has seen in generations. A player capable of dominating as both a hitter and a pitcher already sounds impossible. Adding elite power and game-changing athleticism makes him even more extraordinary. Now, with his bat heating up once again, the rest of the league may be facing a familiar problem. How exactly do you stop Shohei Ohtani? The Diamondbacks offered one answer. Don't let him swing. But that's only a temporary solution. Because eventually, every team has to pitch to him. And if his recent form is any indication, that challenge is becoming more difficult with every passing game. The intentional walk in Arizona may seem like a small moment in a long season, but it revealed something bigger. Opposing teams are beginning to treat Ohtani like the most dangerous hitter in baseball once again. And if that's truly the case, the Dodgers could become even more dangerous than they already are. For the rest of the league, that's a warning. For Dodgers fans, it's exactly what they've been waiting to see. Shohei Ohtani is heating up, and baseball is starting to react.